Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Top 10 Trends. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 10 deadly weapons you won't believe exist. A little while ago, we took a look at 10 weapons you could own that were insane. These are weapons you can't own and probably don't want to. They're either so mind-blowing or so stupid that they didn't ever make their way into popular circulation. All right, gang, let's begin. Number 10, the lipstick pistol, or the kiss of death. The lipstick pistol is exactly what it sounds like. A small container of lipstick that's actually a single chamber firing mechanism for one 4.5 millimeter round. It was called the Kiss of Death, and it was used by the KGB in 1965. Used is a relative term. It was in the field. As to whether or not anyone actually died from it, I have no idea. The weapon's actually kind of ingenious, because while a lot of makeshift weapons are hard to aim, the Kiss of Death is easy to aim. You can be mere feet from your target and look like you're applying ordinary makeup. I have to imagine, though, that the bullet's blowback actually burned the user's lips. Now it's on display at the International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. This little gadget is like a real-life James Bond gadget, and probably helped inspire some of the movies. Number 9. The Vespa 150 TAP. The Vespa 150 TAP is a Vespa scooter that's been specially modified for use by paratroopers. It was used in 1956 and updated again in 1959. It includes a reinforced frame and a 3-inch recoilless rifle mounted on the scooter. They would actually deploy these scooters in pairs, with one scooter having the rifle and the other having reserve ammunition. The gun was not actually designed to be fired while the scooter was moving. It has its own tripod and was supposed to be set up, considering there's no way to aim the gun while riding the scooter. However, the frame was reinforced, so the gun could be fired while driving the scooter. It just wouldn't work too well. It was relatively cheap, only costing about $500 when it was made. Only 500 of these scooters were ever produced, probably because they're kinda stupid. It just goes to show there really is no way to make a Vespa look cool. Number 8. Bat bombs. No, these aren't a weapon used by Batman. Bat bombs are a real experimental weapon tested out in World War II. The bomb consisted of a large casing with over 1,000 compartments, each one containing a hibernating Mexican free-tailed bat with a small incendiary bomb attached. When dropped from a bomber, the casing would deploy a parachute and open to release the bats, which would then roost in a 40-mile radius. The incendiaries would then start fires in all places the bats were roosting. The intended targets were Japanese buildings, considering they were largely made of wood and paper. The bat bomb was oddly enough conceived by a dentist named Little S. Adams, a friend of First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. This actually was approved by President Roosevelt. President Roosevelt looked at this bat bomb and said, "Hell yeah, make 100 of these." The project was eventually canceled in 1944. It was canceled because higher-ups heard that the bomb wouldn't be ready for a couple more years, and $2 million had already been spent on this colossal waste of time. The bomb was actually designed to not kill people because it only starts small fires. It would do colossal damage to buildings, but with relatively small losses of life. It's weird that an alternative to the atomic bomb could have been the bat bomb. Number 7. Dyson Le Petit Protection Ring. This is the smallest weapon, even smaller than the lipstick gun. The Dyson Le Petit Protector Ring pistol is a pistol that fires 5mm bullets. It's the smallest gun ever made. It shoots 6 5mm bullets, and all of it fits on the head of a ring. It has a trigger, a hammer, and a lever mechanism to make the chamber spin. The kickback on this thing can't be a whole lot. And to be honest, the bullet probably can't penetrate flesh all that well. It's more like you're firing a cap gun with a BB. But with a good punch, and you fire this thing off, you could definitely kill a man if you get him in the eye. The Dyson Le Petit Protector Ring pistol was made over 100 years ago, and they aren't made today. But most of the ones out there reportedly still work because of the superior craftsmanship needed to make a gun so small it could fit on the end of a ring. One of the big issues with this gun, however, is that the blowback from the bullet actually does more damage to your finger and burning it than the bullet would do to the person you hit. Not a very good weapon, but kind of a cool idea. Number 6. Archimedes' Death Ray. Now before you chew my head off and you say, Mitch, Mythbusters proved that this one probably didn't work well, I found an article saying affiliates of MIT tested it and it was plausible. They got a ship to light on fire using an Archimedes' Death Ray. What is an Archimedes' Death Ray? It's basically a large concentration of mirrors developed by Archimedes and focuses on an enemy ship. That's right, an ancient weapon called a Death Ray. Archimedes' Death Ray was designed to sink a ship by setting it ablaze from a distance, using a set of mirrors to focus the sunlight on one point, setting the sails or wood aflame. There's a lot of speculation about whether it actually works or not, but there are recorded instances in history of it actually working. Whether or not those are just fluff is hard to say, but MIT says it can happen, so I want to believe. It does go without saying, however, that this weapon requires pretty near perfect conditions to work. Even a little bit of cloud cover can stop the sun from reaching the mirrors, or stop it from being intense enough to actually light the other ship on fire. Number 5. The Duckfoot Pistol. The Duckfoot Pistol is aptly named because it looks like a duckfoot, featuring any number of 4 to 8 barrels. Sometimes Duckfoot pistols were double stacked. If it had more than 8 barrels, it was typically called a pepperbox pistol, or it would fire a whole bunch of rounds in one direction. The Duckfoot pistol, however, specialized in firing rounds all over the damn place. One of the big issues with the Duckfoot pistol is that there's no way to aim it straight. None of the barrels actually aim straight ahead, so you won't ever hit what you're aiming at, just everyone around it. It was designed for boarding ship captains to be able to quickly clear a deck, and it worked pretty well, I'd assume. 4 bullets with 1 shot. However, its design is impractical, and it's better off to just have a regular musket so you can actually shoot the guy who's trying to kill you instead of everyone around you and your friends. Number 4. Harmonica guns. Harmonica guns are guns that have horizontal loading magazines. The magazines look like harmonicas, hence the name. Harmonica guns do not work very well because once you've started firing, the magazine becomes off balance and you have all the weight of the magazine to one side, making the gun incredibly difficult to aim well. Harmonica guns did achieve a certain amount of popularity, however, and there are even harmonica rifles. Still, the weight of this gun makes it impractical as a gun, so it's not a very good weapon all in all. There's a reason guns load from the bottom or from the side and take the bullets in the center. It's because the weight needs to be evenly distributed. It's hard enough to aim a gun that's trying to kick itself out of your hands without having the gun swing violently from side to side every time you try to use it. Number 3. Soviet Diesel Dogs. The Soviet Diesel Dogs were a devious method used by the Soviets in World War II. They would strap bombs to dogs and train the dogs to run under tanks by leaking gasoline and having the dogs sniff it out and run over to the gasoline, rewarding the dogs for doing well. When the dog would sniff out the tank and run over, they would set a timer on the dog or ignite it remotely, setting the dog's explosives off, blowing up the tank and the dog. Unfortunately for the Soviets, they were too stupid to realize the Germans didn't use the same sort of fuel, and the dogs would oftentimes run back around and run under the Soviets' own tanks, blowing them up. I realize in war it's really doing anything to win, but it serves them right for trying to use man's best friend as man's best bomb. Other countries, including the US, have strapped bombs to dogs and trained them to run after certain things. The US never deployed them, however, and this has never been met with much success because dogs, while partially predictable, are often also unpredictable. All in all, it seems the Soviet program was ultimately a failure, propaganda used by the Soviets to encourage the Nazis to run away even faster. Number 2. Greek fire. The actual recipe to Greek fire was lost thousands of years ago because the Greeks are stupid and made it a very well kept secret so that no one person knew the exact formula of Greek fire at any one time. The obvious result of which meaning that the secret formula was lost to the ages because eventually those people died or wrote the formula down wrong or didn't get the chance to pass it on and it disappeared into the ages. Greek fire, however, was an incredibly effective anti-structural weapon that took down almost any wall it came across. While it was only used sparingly in battles, the Greeks actually developed a method to spray the fire onto soldiers. More often than not, however, it was used as an anti-structural weapon. Greek scholar is something alchemists the world over have tried to solve for years on end, to no avail. No one knows the exact recipe of Greek fire, although we can assume it's probably pretty close to napalm, considering napalm can reignite when it reaches oxygen. And Greek fire was known to burn everything it touched to the ground, just like napalm. And number 1. The number 1 most deadly, stupid, crazy weapon is the Metal Storm firing system. Take a look at this insane thing. The Metal Storm firing system used an electronic pulse to ignite bullets and send them down its chamber. The Metal Storm firing system used individually loaded barrels as its weapons. It didn't have any magazines to hold the bullets. The bullets would sit in a line inside the barrel, and the electrical pulse would set them off one by one. It could do that in rapid succession, or could do it in a massive wall of bullets. The Metal Storm firing system was designed to send a hail of bullets in whatever direction it was pointing in, hundreds of them being fired every second. While the Metal Storm system hasn't been used in combat lethally, at least as far as I could find, it has been used for non-lethal purposes, firing rubber bullets and bean bags in a modified version of the system. As far as I'm aware, the system was never actually made combat ready, and it's unclear what happened to the company, but I believe it's gone defunct since then. Well, gang, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like down below, and if you want to see more content, subscribe. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you later. Take care.